For most of you, this is your first scouting activity. Some of you are probably very excited but somewhat overwhelmed. Don't worry, we've all been there.
So we signed our son up for scouting when he was in first grade, and my husband actually had been a Cub Scout and he really wanted to do it, but he worked second shift, so I was the one that was ending up bringing him to all the meetings, and I didn't have a clue what was going on. It was like they were talking in a foreign language about tigers and wolves and bears and something called a wee, but I had no idea what it was about because I knew nothing about scouting. And then they asked me the dreaded question, would you like to help or would you like to be a leader? And I was like, oh no. I work full time, I have a preschool, I have a first grader, there's just no way I can do that. But I took a deep breath, stepped back, and I thought about it because I knew that without parental involvement, you can't run a quality program. And so I just kind of started helping out a little bit here and there, and I took advantage of the training opportunities that were provided by the council and all the resources that they had. And little by little I took on different roles, some small, some big, and I have just enjoyed the ride ever since. Scouting is a wonderful program, and I have watched my two boys grow into wonderful young men. They're now have transitioned into the Boy Scouts, and we've had many wonderful memories, and I have connected with a lot of other wonderful Scout parents, and I wouldn't trade that experience for anything.
You know, I remember that first meeting, and I went, my son was going to be a Tiger Cub Scout, and I wanted to be just an active parent. You know, I just wanted to be there and help him and be a part of scouting with him. Never had any intention on being a leader in any way. And then something happened after Pinewood Derby, and they needed leaders, and we were in a situation where we couldn't have scouts for our boys if some of the parents around didn't step up or wouldn't volunteer to be leaders. And since then, I've been a den leader or involved in every den since my oldest boy was a Tiger Cub through the time he's in his second year of Boy Scouts now. I can't imagine not doing it, even though I didn't know what I was going to do or what being a scout leader would entail. It's been a wonderful experience being a part of my boys' scouting journey, my oldest son and my youngest son. And I can't imagine not doing it. I wouldn't miss it for the world. And I can tell you, if you have any questions or any doubts about whether or not you could be a leader or help in scouting with your boy, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
My first scouting experience was when I attended my first scouting meeting with my oldest son. And they asked me if I wanted to be a den leader. And I immediately said no. I made up the excuses, and I finally settled on the excuse that I couldn't do the job justice, and I'd do a disservice to the Scouts if I was their den leader, because I didn't think I could do it. But as the year went on, I helped out in den meetings, in pack meetings, and then the second year, I thought, you know, maybe I can do this. So I took on the den leader role when he was a wolf. And, you know, it was a good experience. And I did it mostly because I wanted to be part of my boy's life and part of his journey. So since then, I've been a den leader for my boys, and they love it. And I get to be a big part of their life for what's passionate to them.
The first meeting I went to with my son, or brought my son to, I ended up just standing up in the back of the room and watching. And that, you know, I watched as he became part of the group right away, and I just stood back there and really didn't know what to do. And it felt kind of like there was only a couple of leaders that were really there and could help out. And that, to me, it seemed like I wanted to help, but I didn't really know how. I didn't know if I didn't want to step on any toes. and I didn't know if what I could do. And I ended up doing that for a couple meetings, and because I didn't want to just leave them there, I felt like I shouldn't just drop them off. So then, after a couple meetings, I finally did ask, is there any way I can help, and if so, how? And I'm glad I did. I really enjoy now being a leader. I was in Scouts also as a kid, but I didn't have any clue what there was to be an adult leader in the program until I became more involved. And now I really get a kick out of watching Scouts, helping them learn, and watching them get that aha moment when they finally understand something.
When I signed the kids up for Cub Scouts, I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't know anything about the program. I didn't know, one rank from another or anything like that. I just thought it'd be something fun for them. And so I remember going to the first meeting, and I walked into a room with strangers. I didn't know anyone. And so sure, the kids knew a couple kids and stuff. We were having a good time and stuff. But I never thought I would be a scout leader. Like I said, I didn't know the program. The pack seemed pretty strong, and they seemed to have everything figured out. And all the other den leaders were men, and it's like, what could I possibly do to help? So we kept going to the meetings, and we kept digging into the program. And I found lots of different places where I could help. Something that would be easy for me, really lighten the load for somebody else. And those strangers along the way, they became my friends. And so now I've, learned that there is no one perfect scout leader. Everyone's got skills that they can contribute to, make the program strong. Whether it's, engaging the kids in a goofy game, or, leading a meeting, or organizing treats, or teaching them to fish, or whatever. We're, all just a bunch of volunteers, pitching in to, have a lot of fun spending time with our kids. So I'm pretty thankful to be a scout leader. I'm thankful for the opportunity to, give my kids, and the awesome scouting experience that they deserve.